Ba-bam. Hold on, hold on. Damn it, I clicked it. There you go.
Good start.
We'll get this right. Well, welcome to all of you viewers. How many viewers do we got? Two, three?
Got three. Woohoo!
Yay! And welcome to Sunshine and Moonbeam. And I will switch off my. There you go. Woohoo! So, Sunshine and Moonbeam, Journey to Crystal Brush 2014 with me, Mars, and to my. No, this way.
Left is Mystics.
And to over there.
Maxxpayne390.
Yeah! So, we've been promoting this on our Facebook or WGC Facebook page and everything else, but everyone's wondering what is this show all about. So what is the show all about, Miss?
The show is about my journey to Crystal Brush 2014 and to help other new painters out there to figure out what is going on.
Not only new painters, but also new hobbyists, basically. Whoever wants to start in the hobby. This show is supposed to be kid-friendly, but I'm pretty sure with all our personality, you might have to do earmuffs from here, like, sometimes. So we apologize in advance for that. And, you know, we're here now with guest Max Payne. And maybe a little bit introduction on your channel, Max?
I am I'm going to start doing a YouTube channel. We're going to be doing Gaming on a Dime, where I discuss ways of enjoying our hobby without having to spend a lot of money. I mean, of course, we're going to spend money on our models because you can get them cheap, but you can't really cut prices too much on that.
Yes.
But as far as the materials, tools to paint your models, convert your models, things like that, I wanted to be going over ways of budgeting on how to do that.
Cool. And Mystics, what is your background on this?
I got my first model in December. Other than that, this is my hair. I'm going to be learning how to paint and hopefully win a Crystal Brush next year.
Yep, this whole thing it's actually started off because I actually had an idea of doing a show, not necessarily a live show, on teaching people how to paint or how to prepare their models, whichever. And this was backed up by Les saying, like, yeah, you should do it because, you know, some people might like the content, that kind of stuff. And then not knowing if everything is kind of snowballed, I started hanging out with these guys over at Google Hangouts. And I got kind of close with Mystics over there, and then usually in the morning, because I get to work at 7 o'clock, I usually just say, hey, morning sunshine, and then he reply to me, morning moonbeam. So I'm like, wait a minute, you just named the new show. Perfect, you'll be my co-host. And I do not take no for an answer.
Yes, he does not.
At first, he actually hated the name Sunshine and Moonbeam because Max over there, Mike, keep making fun of him because it has reference to being a brony, aka My Little Pony, whatever's. So I thought it was a great idea. It's a catchy name, and we have our brilliant-looking logo over there, the pony and the yin yang Moonbeam and Sunshine, made by Clayton Tait. Thank you for that, Clayton.
Yes, thank you, Clayton, for this.
Yep, it's an awesome logo. We'll be using it, and you know, this entire thing started because just one simple idea, and followed by one simple comment, and then I started talking to Max as well regarding model preparation. No, not model preparation, because episode 1 is actually about where to get your models, and it snowballed to right here. So, but everybody else has a different point of view. How did you think it started, Miss?
Well, it started, actually, funny thing is, Max and I had this idea one day. We were bouncing it around to start our own YouTube channel, which basically talked about wargaming and all that. And, well, things led to that not happening, so later on we just let it go, and then you approached me about doing the painting techniques, and I was totally for it because I'm always willing to learn. The name came from a half an hour of me getting brony jokes from someone. who I will say is the only one with a pony on their screen.
That is
So,
correct.
revenge is mine.
Okay, the name that we were gonna change it was Mars and Mystics Journey to Crystal Brush 2014. For all your viewers right there, please comment down below which one do you think is better. Should we stick with this one or should we go with Mars and Mystics? Just comment down below. See what I wanted to see what people think because I think Sunshine and Moonbeam is an awesome name.
You can comment or go to here our new email.
Yes,
Sunshine
Sunshine
and
and Moonbeam.
2014 at gmail.com.
Yes.
Comments, questions, please put it there.
Yep. And so that's how Mystics saw the whole idea. What did you think about it, Max?
Well, Mystics and I have been doing Google Plus Hangouts since what, November? Is it November or December?
December.
Mystics.
That's when I made my big appearance, like late December, early January.
Yeah, and we've been doing Hangouts since then. And like he said, we had discussed doing a live show, yet we couldn't find the people to do it. We had a few, but we never could nail down a format or anything like that. Then after Adepticon, when you came back and you started talking to Jed about doing the show, about doing the live show. And you and I also started discussing the Wargamer, what you did the Wargamer on the budget, and it seems like every time we got into a hangout together, I would come up with some
a lot of different content that you could have used.
some off the wall way to do something that didn't cost any money, or cost very little money.
Yep.
And so you and I started discussing doing basically a second budget wargaming.
I actually highly encourage you to actually do it.
Yes, and it's worked. I'm going to get off my tail and get it done. But so that's how I became part of this, is through working with you, trying and organizing ideas on wargaming on a budget.
Yeah, since episode 1 is actually getting where you get your miniatures from, has something to do with budgeting, obviously, because as we know, some stores' prices are not the best. That's why Max is our first honorary guest in Sunshine and Moonbeam show. And what we didn't mention, also part of this entire show, is Mystics, being a 6-month-old noob here,
Indeed.
actually throw down the gauntlet to Max, who has probably double digits painting experience, and said, you know what, let's try this at Crystal Brush. Let's see who wins the most, or let's see if anyone win any. And Max is actually getting tips from Les. Miss is getting tips a little bit less than from Les, while he's getting a little bit more tips from me. So let's see how this goes. Let's do a poll probably. We'll try to do it again we try to get the results by week 10. See who's gonna win. Let's see who wants to vote for Mystics over here and Max over here. I'll do the poll. We'll set it up on Facebook later on. So root for your favorite painter, I guess. We don't know how Miss is gonna paint. This is like exactly the underdog story that everybody loves. So, well, let's get started. The first episode of Sunshine and Moonbeam. The first topic is where you actually get your miniatures. Everybody started from just walking around the mall and then saw, oh, there's a GW shop. What is that? And when you look inside, there's miniatures and like, oh, those are pretty cool. And then you realize the price is like, holy snaps. A box of 5 guys is like now what, $50 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
So Mystics, how did you actually buy where did you buy your first miniature? How did you get it?
Actually, my first miniatures was the Necron Battle Force. It was kind of forced upon me as a Christmas gift. So I got that for Christmas, followed by me actually winning 2 Finecast Necron models. And then I finally broke down my first miniature I bought was actually the Dark Debts Malifaux set.
Nice. Where did you get it from?
Miniaturemarket.com. My problem is I really don't have a friendly local friendly local game shop. My closest one is 45 minutes away over a turnpike, so it gets kind of pricey.
I Google Map Jet's address, and then when you look at from the top, it's all just fields with cows.
Tree, 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 cow, tree, me.
Yes. Max, where did you actually? Well, I know you've been gaming for a long time, so you probably don't remember where you get your first model.
Actually,
but
I do remember where I got my first
okay.
model. Yes.
Let's do this.
This was 92, 93-ish. I bought it at a hobby shop, a local hobby shop, that was mostly scale models and RC.
Okay.
But they did have some gaming stuff, mostly role-playing games. But they did carry Games Workshop products.
Oh, cool.
And so that is where I bought my first models, was in that store. And I believe my first ever purchase was the Warhammer Fantasy battles with I believe it was High Elves and Orcs.
Oh, I don't even remember what edition that is. Well, if any of you guys and the viewers knows what edition, just let us know. My first experience was my very, very first experience with miniature was actually a game called Heroes Quest. It is actually made by Milton Bradley and Games Workshop, probably in 1992. And it was all in English. I was growing up in Indonesia, and I had I spoke a little English, obviously, because I went to school, and they teach me English since I was 3. But it was hard for us to play it, and it was just all 5 guys, and we're playing, an English board game. It was a dungeon crawling game that was made by Games Workshop and Milton Bradley, and I bought it at a Toys R Us in Singapore. But my very, very first actual Games Workshop, I actually got this recently. I just found out the name of the store now. I was in Perth for high school in 1996, 97, and I bought a Brother Corbulo model from a store called Tactics in Perth. It's in a London court. So if you've seen Harry Potter, where it's the Diagon Alley where all shopping, that particular London court, it looks exactly kind of like that. So they made a particular part of downtown Perth to look like that, and then their store is actually underground, and it's hidden. And I started gaming there for a little bit until GW actually opened up a store. So it was a pretty interesting experience for me. Prices over there in Australia when I was there, it was not as much as now, because I heard that now the price has gone up doubles or something. So, I mean, you bought yours from Miniature Market at Dark Dead, right, Miss?
Yeah.
So their price is already discounted, and Max, I think all of us, when we first bought it, we probably wouldn't know if the price that we got it from is fair price or cheap price, right?
Right. I mean, when I bought that box set, I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been $75.
Wow. And this is like almost 20 years ago, so
right.
It is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that's starting the hobby out in today's age, is we have the internet.
Yes.
Which the internet was around 20 years ago, but it really wasn't what it is today. So people can go out and say, okay, how much is this? Can I get it cheaper here? And it really comes down to what is more convenient, the shipping or going to your friendly local neighborhood game store.
Price comparison and word-of-mouth marketing, or word-of-mouth, like, oh, this store is cheap, wasn't around back then, because the number of people playing back then was probably smaller. Or back then, playing miniature war games is considered a taboo. Not a taboo, but everyone's hiding it, too. Yeah. So I think that plays into the factor.
It's before the geek culture became mainstream, so to speak.
Yes.
I think a lot of the people my age that are playing tabletop war games, like me, were probably pen and paper role players.
Yeah.
And so those kind of people got lumped in together. And back then, it was, the people that played D&D or whatever were ridiculed.
Yeah.
Is, you know, they were different, you know.
That's why there's movies like Revenge of the Nerds.
Right, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, it's always been a very niche market, just because of the way it's viewed.
Yeah. Because I mean, look, if you want to look at the stereotype, Mike probably does not fit the stereotype at all. Like he's like the Vin Diesel of our hangout right now. And for all you know, Vin Diesel is a geek. He actually plays D&D. He actually Dungeon Master a couple of
He
times.
does.
Yeah. So, we figured out where to buy it, and a long time ago. And now, where do you guys actually buy your miniatures from? Let's start with Miss.
Like I said, mostly I do miniature market.
Okay.
Like I said, because it's cheap. It's the cheapest that I've found so far, and occasionally I will buy stuff off of eBay.
Okay. And what about you, Mike?
A lot of my stuff, I go with my friendly games, the local game store.
Okay.
I've got a loyalty there. Those guys, the guys here at my store are great, and because I am a regular there, they do give us discounts.
Okay.
So I
Is
go
there some
there.
kind of membership program at all, or?
No, actually, we just go in, and the people that go in and play on a regular basis, we just go in and play, and they give us our discount.
That's cool.
It's kind of a benefit of, you know, going there to play. And I
Right.
think they do it just to bring the people in, because if you're there to play, you're going to be there to buy you're going to go there to
Eventually,
buy
you're
your
gonna be
miniatures.
there to buy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about two different like polar opposite here. One is the actual online shopping where wait no this side is online shopping and cheaper pricing and you don't even have to get out of your house. And we also have a local game store supporter over here. I'm actually perfectly right in the middle of it because I actually I'm not as bad in terms of living nowhere from a local game store. I live in an area where I call the Black Death because there's no even though I live in LA, but I live in the outskirts of LA and so the nearest stores to me is like 20-30 minutes away, like east, west, north, south. So I'm in the middle. So I don't really have a local game store that I have loyalty to. I also shop online because of the budgeting issue that I have because obviously in my relationship I don't wear pants. so so I'm kind of stuck in that whole area where okay, I don't have a local store, but I do also
Sorry, guys.
that's our first boo boo.
Congratulations, Mike. You have achieved the first boo boo.
Yay.
So I'm stuck in the middle. I actually don't have a preference. If I do find a local game store that I want to support, I'm fine with that. And then if I do have an online store, I do agree that Miniature Market is probably one of the cheapest. I actually call them. The customer service is actually really, really good. And oh, we're not sponsored by any of these guys, by the way. Sometimes I do check pricing on War Store, so there's a lot of pricing comparison. But what I wanted to talk about is actually Mike brought it up about loyalty. Miss, do you have any loyalty into certain like if let's say you shop at Miniature Market, will you shop over there all the time? Or if you find somewhere, let's say Amazon has it cheaper, would you actually switch?
I think that right now it's mostly where the cheapest stuff is, because even though like Miniature Market has a rewards program, if you buy there constantly, uh, it ranks to where you actually have to make a lot of purchases to get any benefit from the rewards.
I believe it's 1 cent per dollar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that takes a while to build up. I mean, anyone with a rewards credit card knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, for my local game store, that one of them that I go to, which is Brooker's Hobbies, they actually have a loyalty program where not only that the actual prices of the merchandise is already discounted, like Malifaux models are 20% off, GW is like 10% off. On top of that, they also have a rewards program where you buy a card for $1, I believe. You sign up for their membership, and whatever you buy, you get 10% onto the card. And for after the $5 reward amount that you get, you can spend it on whatever you want using the store credit. I used to take advantage of that because let's say Malifaux model, a box that says $30, 20% is I can't do my math. it's $6 off, so it's $24, and then you get 10%, another $3 onto your cart, so that's a total of saving of $9. I think that is a great idea, but I don't think Miniature Market can do 10% because already low prices. So let's get back to loyalty. Obviously, I think Max would probably have a different opinion on loyalty because he is supporting a local game store. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a loyalty to my local game store. I have bought on eBay just because. I mean, I picked up 3 crews for Malifaux.
Okay.
No, actually, I take that back. I've got 3 crews. I picked up 2 crews on eBay, 2 Malifaux crews on eBay for what I would have paid for 1. And so I mean, you know, if I find a great deal on eBay or somewhere else, I'm going to jump on it. But my main loyalty lies with my local game shop. I do have some online retailers, not really retailers, but if I want bits, I have a place that I go. I go to Hordo Bits. He's on eBay or on his website, and that's where I usually buy my bits.
I think those guys are one of the 2 big ones that are on eBay right now.
I think so. But yeah, and so I mean, I do have loyalty because, you know, if I find somebody that gives me, I hate to say good customer service because I mean you really don't interact with these people that much to get customer service, but as far as an eBay order goes, if I have a seller that gets me my items on time and just gives me good quality items, then I'm going to stick with them. And so far, that's what I've found with Hordo Bets. So I'll stay loyal to them.
That's also another problem that local game store doesn't have. They don't have bits, right?
Yes.
Well, in LA, there's a store called Game Empire where they have bins and bins of bits that you can just mix and match, pick it. If you somehow can make one model of plastic, that's $1. And I ransacked that place so many times. I got so many Mordheim model. I built my Mordheim warbands from that store. So I guess being in LA, I'm kind of blessed to actually. There's a lot of stores, although I don't live near any of them, and there's a lot of options of online stores. Shipping is also fast. There's a lot of options if you actually live in the bigger cities. I don't know about people in New York how they do it, but in LA, I'm pretty blessed with a lot of cons, a lot of local stores, a lot of gaming communities, and everything else. But loyalty, I think, is one of the biggest topic that, especially if you're in a club I don't know, there's Soka Malifaux that I play with sometimes. They are supporting the local game stores a lot because that's where they play, and then they don't only play in one area; they play in several different areas. So loyalty is a big factor in starting out in the hobby. I believe we have a painting question, even though this is where to get your your stuff. But okay, when applying whitewashes, do you stand above it and flick it down, or do you whitewashes? I've never applied whitewashes before. Why would you have whitewashes? Anyone has a idea on that?
Yes, if there's anyone in the chat, please help him out because we're clueless on this matter.
Because I mean, the only time that
I've never used a whitewash.
Yeah, every time I do washes is actually to darken certain things. So I'm not completely sure what the question is. If you can reiterate, but in the meantime, we're gonna get back to the show.
Actually, I do see.
We mentioned. So go ahead, Mike.
We got some responses on that fantasy starter set I was talking about. Apparently, it was 4th edition.
Cool. High Elves and Orcs. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you, Richter Scale Studios and Jason Bonnet for the answer.
Cool. Thank you
Give
very
a
much.
shout out to those 2 people right there.
We see Chung online. Catherine Locke is online. Anime Warforge. Trent was helping us during our dry run earlier. Thank you. Shout out for you.
Yes.
Gonzo War Game is actually Eric from WGC. And we have Clayton
is with us.
Clayton
Yes,
Tait,
Clayton Tait,
the guy who made our logo. Thank you very much.
the genius behind the pony and the logo.
So let's get back on with the topic. So
you mentioned about loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty. Well, actually, loyalty was done.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to add one last thing into it.
Right.
Coming from where I say where most of my purchases are online, if there was a place that was accessible, like if there wasn't almost an hour drive and what cost, I would totally go to the store, because without the local stores, I'm in a position now where I really don't have anyone to play with. You can nurture the local stores, and as more people know about it, you can actually find the games that you want to play, start clubs in these local stores, as opposed to what you can't do buying from an online retailer.
Yep, I agree to that. Also, shout out to Engineer Jeff that's screaming my name with the wrong spelling.
Morrow.
Hi, Jeff.
And I'm Morrow.
So, since Mystics actually shop online, we're gonna make him answer this question last. I'm gonna start with Max first. Do you do price comparison in local game stores? Let's say if you have 2 or 3 different stores.
Really, I have 2 stores here. One is the local game store, and the other is a GW store that recently opened. I do price comparison. Generally, with the discount I get at the game store, I can get it at a better price than what I can get it at the GW.
Okay. What about you, Miss?
One thing is like the online retailers is it's so easy to do price comparisons. So, like depending on, well, my most purchases are through Miniature Market. If I can find it cheaper, I will, because it's easier to do that when you're online.
Yeah, especially with, like, let's say if you're shopping at Amazon, there's the price comparison tool where they have different sellers, and all you gotta do is just a couple of clicks away. Sometimes I do local price comparison depending on where it is. Again, I live about 20 minutes away from each store, and what I do is I go to this. Let's say I'm playing on X store for one day, and I know they have 20% off, and then suddenly I get an email saying from Brooker's Hobbies have 30% plus a 10% reward. Then they're about the same distance for me. I would obviously go to the one that's cheaper. That's why I said I don't really have a loyalty to local game store, because pricing is a big factor for me, as I'm already running on a limited budget, and running YouTube channel actually costs you money by getting new equipment. It's a totally different hobby by itself, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in terms of price comparison, I do a lot of it. I actually spend probably 2-3 days before making a purchase. Oh, actually, I got a reply, an answer from Derek Osborne, the director of sales of Cool Mini or Not. Woo! Where's the ding? Where's the ding?
Wrong show.
He says that Vallejo makes white glaze in their model paint line, and according to the guy that actually asked the question, where is my window?
That would be Berserk.
He's seen white washes to use as a quick winter camo on a tank. I'm probably not the best person to ask about weathering or any type of vehicles, because I specialize in fantasy models, and that's where we want to get Mystics to start on painting first, because fantasy models, I believe, has less flat surfaces, because Space Marines, obviously, plenty of flat surfaces. I think Max there can probably give me a little bit more idea on Space Marine.
Lots of blue.
Yeah.
One thing,
dear Lord, too much blue.
One thing that I think that we kind of skipped over about price comparisons and online stores versus local game stores, is, and I'm not going to make this into a political discussion at all, is GW. Because the online world isn't allowed to sell GW online except for their online store.
Yeah.
So that, in a sense, will make it harder if you want to go purchase a new 40K model or the new fantasy model. It really limits it down to where you can go.
Yeah. Well, no offense to GW, what I usually do is I look at the pictures of the model at GW, and then I go to Miniature Market because I know they have 25% off and free shipping after $100.
Yes.
But I haven't bought like a GW model in a long time,
exactly.
So I wouldn't know the pricing structure now.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it a political discussion on GW policies at all.
Let's not get into that.
But we're talking about price comparisons, and let's face it, GW is one of the biggest companies in our hobby as it is.
Yep.
So I figured we should have touched on that area.
Yeah. And we actually have Gene Jordan saying that he prefers the local store over because another chain of game store refused to sponsor a local tournament. You know, if you have a personal thing against a certain store, that's completely fine. That's why there's certain things like loyalty into certain stores, and the store somehow screw you over, then you don't need to have that kind of loyalty anymore, because it's like, you know, you're hanging out with your friends and suddenly your friend says, you know what, F you, I don't want to deal with you anymore. That's completely fine. Dark Light Productions also here. If you see him on WGC production forums, he actually has really, really nicely painted Infinity models. I am not even joking. I'm so jealous of how he painted it. He's actually going to be also our 10th guest on the 10th episode. So Dark Light Production right there. Woo! All right, let's get on with the show. Mystics, have you bought on eBay?
I have. Like most of my eBay has been bits. Because I've messed up a few times. But other than that, I haven't really bought any major purchases from eBay yet.
All right. Max, you mentioned Horde of Bits.
Yes, Horde of Bits. But I've purchased, like I said, 2 Malifaux crews. The Fate decks. 75% of my Malifaux was bought on eBay.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'll totally use eBay if I can find a great deal on something.
What I usually do for eBay before, when I was still using Games Workshop models, I buy bits. One of them that I found was Horde of Bits. But sometimes what I like to do is actually look for used models, whether it's painted or not. If it's painted, I prefer metal because it's easier to strip. And then what I do is I strip them out, I repaint it, and then I turn it around on eBay again. Sell it, a little bit higher. It's quick turnaround because I like the fact. I like to practice on my painting. I think Mystics should know this. Like, if you want to get cheaper, like the more cheaper model that you can get, the more practice if you paint them all. I mean, if you don't end up being a hoarder like most of our hobbyists are, hopefully you won't end up with a pile of models like what I have over on this side. So get cheaper models, meaning it can mean that you can get more models and there's more models for you to practice to paint. At least that's my advice to Miss right here. Have you guys found any risk or reliability issues buying stuff from eBay? Let's start with Miss.
Like I said, I haven't really done that many miniature purchases to really say yes or no on that matter.
Okay, and Max?
I haven't had any bad issues with eBay.
Okay.
But then again, I've mostly gone through. I've done a couple of person-to-person eBays. Most of my eBay has been through online established stores. The eBay stores.
Cool. All right. Now we're gonna go move on into. Some people might not know this. Some people know this. Forum trading. Forum trading is something a little bit even riskier, I believe, than eBay, because there's no such thing as a seller rating. There's only reference, and reference dictates everything. Let's say if you have a -1 reference, that means no one's going to trade with you. But you start off with 0 reference, and some people don't want even to trade with 0 reference people. Have you guys have any experience in this, Miss?
No. I mean, I haven't. I'm in the same boat that I am with the eBay, so I just don't have enough experience in it yet.
But have you heard of some of forums that actually do tradings?
Yes, I've heard of places like Bartertown.
Okay.
And like I said, usually, like, I look at that to, like, if I needed something, like, I won't get into it, but there's a model I was looking for, and as rare as it was, that was one of the places that was actually suggested to me by actually you.
Yeah, I use Bartertown a lot, and on top of eBay, when I actually buy used stuff, repainted it, and then sell it on eBay again, I also use Bartertown, and I've been building up my reference points over at Bartertown. Max, what about you before I actually chime in on this?
I haven't done any forum trading at all, so I really don't have a point of reference on it.
if you like taking risks, you're gonna love forum trading because usually forum goes first and then they put it on eBay if nothing goes on sale. And the prices are usually cheaper and you can bargain with them with no one else bidding on it. I think those are the plus side of forum. My experience with it, I use Bartertown a lot. I've gotten limited edition models that are supposed to be for like $45. I got it for $20 shipped because the guy just wanted to get rid of it, and it's not even a lot. So Gene Jordan mentioned that he bought a lot of stuff from Craigslist. That's sort of forum trading. If you do Craigslist buying, I recommend that you meet up in a public place, like a restaurant or like I don't know, a burger joint or whatever. Because, yeah, you're assuming that you're buying miniature nerdy stuff from a guy that, I'm sorry, miss, that might look like Mystics, and
Hey,
you're safe. But it turns out the guy that came out to
looks like Max.
when you purchase looks like Max, and you're like, holy crap, I'm gonna be in trouble. So it's safer to meet up in public. Uh, Another forum trading part that I've lurked around is actually Daka Daka. They have trading. For some reason, it leans towards UK side more. Bartertown is more US. I don't know. It's just odd. Maybe I'm just noticing it wrong. Another one that actually Wargamers Consortium forum, they have a trading thread. Ding. Where are you, Miss? Ding.
I do not know what the thing is.
Slipping on the job. There it is.
There you go. So there's a lot of different forums. If you guys know any of them, just put it on the comment because it will show when the show is actually done processing.
Okay, I have a question about forum trading, actually. Like, listen, being new to everything is how do you get yourself established if you have that 0 rating and no one will trade with you?
Yeah. If you have 0, it's like trying to find a job, but the job requires you to have an experience. You have 0 work experience, and you're trying to get a job. So,
Well, how do you get over that?
You just keep trying until you find someone that actually are willing to trade with you. I think I'm right now from Bartertown. I have 14 or 16 trading points, and on eBay I have like 60 something buyer feedback. So I think that's okay. People trust me. I mean, I usually have a very, very quick turnaround time. As soon as I order something, I pay it right away. So usually no one has a problem with me as a buyer. Anyone in the audience actually have problems with eBay or forum at all? Because Mystics didn't really buy a lot of stuff from them. Max never had a problem. I never had a problem. So if we're doing a probability, it seems like 66% is already good, right? It's a passing grade. Is there any questions? The War Store has having huge bit sales this month. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention regarding bits. GW is not doing bits anymore, right? Like it's not allowing bits seller.
Yeah, they're closing down bits, and retailers are no longer allowed to open the boxes and take out bits.
So Max, you should contact Hoarder Bits as soon as possible.
Well, actually, what it is the people who are independent retailers. There's still a loophole there where people like Hoarder Bits can sell bits because they're not trading partners per se with GW.
Okay. Derek, sometimes the comment actually doesn't come out. I experienced this problem. It is not your computer's fault. It is not our fault. It's actually YouTube and Google's fault because sometimes the comment box is not showing up for some reason. Maybe it's to prevent overflooding on the chat line. I don't know. But I'm sorry for that. You can just keep posting your comments or your links towards my email. It will pop up on my screen so I can see it. I can see the comments fine, and we have at least 10 people that can actually see it.
Yeah, we have 16 viewers, so don't know how many of us can actually see the comments.
16 viewers for our first show. Yay!
Moggy Miniature says that he uses eBay all the time and's never had a problem with it, so...
Oh, my comment is not even updated. You're seeing it faster than me.
Ah.
Yeah, Mage Miniature is also here. Woohoo! We see familiar faces here. Awesome. Let's continue on. Have you guys been to a con and they have swap meet over there? Let's start with Miss.
Nope.
Damn it! Why do you have to live next to cows?
No.
Well, it's good that you're learning that these kind of stuff happens. Max.
No, never. I have not been to a con yet.
So you guys are gonna go to Adepticon being convergents.
Pretty
Convergence.
much.
Oh my god, you guys are gonna pee in your pants when you see Adepticon. Well, the swap meet at a con, it's probably my second experience at Adepticon. I've been to a smaller con where they have swap meet, and I think out of everything, swap meet is the best because it gives you, like if you take everything with a grain of salt, let's say online buying and then eBay buying, forum trading and everything, if you take everything with a grain of salt, it's combined into a swap meet. One, you can bargain with the guy. Two, you have that face-to-face interaction that, you know, hey, come on, man, let's give me something cheaper, right? And then three, the prices are so low, super low. At Adepticon, I got this box of 16 Chaos Warriors that I gave to Vanhammer Ding because he's converting it into my, what do you call it, Norse Blood Bowl team. And I got that for, Mike, wait for it, $5.
Wow.
No tax. $5. I didn't even want to bargain on it. How much did you say? $5? Oh, dude, I'm not even gonna be a hassle to you. Here, $5. And then I gave it to Van right away at Adepticon. That wasn't even my, that wasn't even my first purchase. The other purchase I had was from Damon. I forgot how to pronounce his last name. His Celso's friend. He's a Golden Demon winner. He had a bunch of Malifaux stuff that he doesn't want to deal with anymore. And I'm like, how much do you want for it? $16. And I know in my head I already calculated it's actually going to cost me about $30 to $40. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here at Adepticon. I wanted to buy stuff. Here you go. Take my money. I'm not even gonna drop the price down for you because it's already cheap. So I think swap meet is the best, Mystics. If you can find a con near you, I mean, if you have to drive 2 hours for it, then it's not worth it because the cost of the gas is going to be in play.
Yeah, I guess
But I believe swap meet is one of the best shopping experience because it's like people lined up. And you're just walking around looking like, oh, what do you have for sale, sir? I feel like that for every time I walk around a swap meet. It's like, oh, what can I get here? How much am I spending here? Lazy Pug actually spent $90 for 3 either Tau Tank or Eldar tanks. I forgot. And that is really, really cheap price for 3 tanks for $90. Yeah.
Yeah.
The risk and reliability of the convention swap meet. Well, obviously you guys never been to a swap meet at a con, so I'm the only one that can chime in on this.
Go for it, Mario. It's all you.
The risk and reliability, for me, I haven't had a bad experience, but sometimes you do meet that kind of person where you can't even bargain anymore, but because he was already offended by the price that you give him, he's like, you know what, I don't even want to sell it to you. Like, hey, dude, I'm trying to work with you here. And if you just cut me off right there, then, I mean, all right, fine. I don't need that model that bad, but it leaves you with a negative experience. Like, why is that guy being a douche? That's the only problem that I had with it. Sometimes, if you're not comfortable talking to someone, like bargaining, I'm the worst person for bargaining. I hope that this is not gonna bite me in the backside later on when I go to swap meet. Like, oh, Mario doesn't bargain, so just give him a high price first. I hope that doesn't come back to me. But I really don't like bargaining because I feel like I'm lowballing someone all the time. But I know a fair price of a certain thing, and I think that's the advice I can give you, Miss, is knowing the fair price of certain things, whether it's used, new, or painted, is a good idea to know before you actually buy your models. We're coming out towards... Oh, sorry, Max.
That actually goes for even eBay auctions as well. I mean...
Yeah.
Because you can look... Like I said, I got 2 crews of Malifaux for what I would have paid for 1.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've seen auctions go for a single crew unpainted or painted poorly going for
Pro
one and
painted?
a half. Yeah, no, not even that.
Wrong show, Mario. Wrong show.
But I've seen those going for 1.5 to 2 times what the actual boxes you could go to a retail store and buy it for.
Yep.
You've got to know, you've got to set what your price limit is going to be on what you're going to set, on what you're going to buy on something. I will never pay full price for something if I go to eBay.
Yeah, that is pointless.
I mean, if I'm going to do that, I might as well drive to my local game store and pay for, and buy it retail.
It just comes to my head that actually when you're buying online stuff, there is some problem. Sometimes you don't have social security number, you don't have a credit card, you don't have a PayPal account. Sometimes people don't take money orders. That could be a problem. That's why people could buy from local game stores as well.
Richter Scale Studios says his friendly local game shop, Great Escapes Games in Sacramento, has a swap meet 2 or 3 times a year, and he got about $800 with the Marines and Orcs for a little over $300.
We applaud you, sir. That is really good price.
That is really good.
That is less than 50%, and you don't pay tax because you're buying it off of someone. Gene mentioned that time costs money. Yes, time is money. Spending time, let's say, traveling to a con, and you have to remember the con ticket actually costs money too. So you have to calculate all of that. I mean, I'm sorry that this might turn out to be a political episode. I mean, economical episode. But we gotta calculate everything into the hobby, and this is why I bring Max into this. Max, before we go towards the end of the show, any tips for Mystics and the audience over here? Like on anything on where to get it, budgeting a little bit?
You know, one of the first tips that I want to put out there is gaming on a budget does not always mean buying the cheapest thing. The key thing that I can focus on is in the live shows that you've been a part of, and just in general, the big question is, what about this $20 Masters airbrush I can get online? Okay, sure, you can buy a $20 Masters airbrush online, but by the time you buy it 5 times in a year from it breaking down or whatever, you could have paid the $100 for a Patriot 105 that you can get on Amazon. Yeah. I mean, I actually fell into that trap. I bought it had a big name, it had a brand name on it, but it wasn't made by that company. It was made for that company by someone else. And I went to Hobby Lobby, and I only used the 50% discount, and I only paid about $40 for it.
Okay.
Within 2 months, I had already paid the other $40 to $60 buying needles, replacement tips.
It's like buying a car, and then maintenance cost is actually costing more than the car.
Exactly. You know, you buy a $1,000 car, and then you put $3,000 worth of work into it. You could have bought a $4,000 car that wouldn't have required that much maintenance. So I mean, I'm not always going to go with, even doing wargaming on a budget. I'm not always going to go with the cheapest item.
Yep.
That's the budget part of it. If you need a tool, sometimes you just budget the cost of a good tool.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as buying things inexpensively, get your here in the U.S., Hobby Lobby and Michaels.
Yep.
Get their coupons. They put them out every week. Generally 40% off. Every once in a while, you'll find a 50% off.
They have phone apps for you to actually.
Yeah,
it is.
Yep, the phone apps.
This is the Michaels app for Android.
So it's 40% this week.
Yes.
Yep, 40% off. Don't leave home without, I never leave home without my phone, so I've got the phone app. I've always got the coupon on me, just in case I go in there on a whim.
And if you have the coupon on your phone, they can't scan it. They actually have the actual coupon on the store because they need to scan it.
Yeah. But it's I just this past week I needed drill bits for pinning, and I've been buying the $20, what is it? I think there's like $17 for the Dremel brand small drill bits, because I use the smallest bit in the box, and I've got probably 4 sets of those down in my toolbox, because I've broken the smallest bit in the box 4 different times. I've got 4 sets. I've broken them for all 4 of them.
Oh, wow. And you can't buy just that one bit?
You can't buy just that one bit. I check out harborfreight.com.
Harbor
See if
Freight
you've
is
got
cheap.
see if you've got a local Harbor Freight. If you don't, you could usually order off of there. This was $4,
Nice.
I think, and it has all the small bits that I can use for right now. And if I break those, I'm out $4, not 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you'll find your local places that you can buy inexpensive items. But like I said, inexpensive always isn't the best way to go.
Yep.
Like Darklight just said, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yep. Anime Warforged mentioned that shipping can mess up, and wrong address, it could be an issue for online shopping. I totally agree to that.
Yep.
One of the biggest advice that one of my friend gave me was quality only hurts once. I think that particular statement is true, but it has to be added. Quality only hurts once as long as the price is fair, because you don't want to buy the Louis Vuitton brand airbrush because it's Louis Vuitton. Right? That's why I personally like Badger. This is a personal attachment to me, not because I'm sponsored by Badger. I like Badger because the president himself, the CEO, Mr. Cain, right there, actually says that if you want to buy my airbrush, go to Michael's. Don't buy them full retail. Use a coupon. I was like, oh my God, what kind of president would tell him to buy it cheaper? Because it's still money to him no matter what. But I love the fact that he actually endorsed for people to actually become a better shopper. This is what the whole episode is about. We're trying to train mystics here to be a better shopper in the hobby, because it's not only buying your miniatures that's already expensive. You also have to think about where you buy your tools.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I mean, based on the other brand of airbrush that I bought and the one I have now, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I prefer my Badger. I prefer my 105.
Cool. Ding. That is our advice is for Mystics right now, and Mystics will probably see the comment over there, and he has some pretty good advice over there. Now, one of the big announcements that I wanted to do, Max actually mentioned about his Gaming on a Dime channel. This whole thing also was a setup. The reason why he is the first guest is because I wanted to hand it off, Wargamers on a Budget, to him. Originally, we wanted to do it together, as in I'm doing Wargamers on a Budget, he's doing Gaming on a Dime. We both do it at the same time, but it's not that I'm running out of ideas. I just wanted to focus my channel towards something else. I wanted to focus on painting and other stuff. So this is the official torch, Mike. I'm gonna do like this. And other way. Yeah, there you go. Here's the torch. I'm putting it. Gaming on a Dime, or the whole Wargaming on a Budget kind of niche, is now Mike's. I will be actually supporting him by posting up videos, sometimes, maybe once in a blue moon, but I will not be focusing on Wargamers on a Budget anymore. So everyone check out Max Payne's channel at youtube.com/user/Maxxpayne390. So it's not 39. His username is 39, but the channel is 390.
Yes.
Max also has a new channel coming up that he's going to do with his friends. What is it, Max?
We're going to be doing War Gamer Studio, and I have a friend who is a huge video game war gamer, real-time strategy games, first-person shooters, and so we're going to do kind of a crossover channel where his video gaming and my tabletop gaming meet, so that maybe we can expose some people that may be video gamers to the tabletop gaming.
Cool. And do you have an estimate on when this is going to start?
He's getting his equipment together now. He's got.
Oh, he's going to get sucked into that hobby.
Oh yeah, I mean he's already sucked into it. He's got his video capture box to hook. You're on order to hook to his Xbox. So as soon as he gets that done, we're going to be getting. He's going to be doing live streaming gaming. And he's actually going to be helping me on my side doing battle reports.
Cool.
So we're going to be doing some things together. And I think I've talked to Mystics a little bit, and he may kind of, because he's somewhere in between me and my friend.
Okay.
Because my friend is 90% video game, 10% tabletop.
Uh-huh.
I'm 90% tabletop, 10% video game. Mystics is right there in the middle, where he does an equal number of both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we may, I've talked to him a little bit, and we may pull him on some of the stuff as well.
Cool. And Mystics over there actually is starting up his channel. If you notice that this show is actually hosted on his channel.
Yep.
So what is your channel was all about? And I understand you're also going to have a blog?
Yes, I'm going to be starting a blog. It's going to be coinciding with the channel. So a lot of the things you see, videos on my channel will have equal entries on my blog, so you can get it from both a text and a video point of view.
Cool.
My YouTube channel is youtube.com/user/the-mystics.
And the last I is a 1, right?
Yes, indeed, that is a 1.
The Mystics. Woohoo! Ding! That is all for today's show.
Wait.
Before
Mario.
we close, Mario,
You need to pimp yourself out a little bit, sir.
Well, I am Mars from Voices of Mars. I used to do Wargamers on a budget, and now I'm doing a little bit more on painting tutorials, showcases, and I will still do a little bit of Wargamers on a budget because that is my route. I forgot to mention that when you say budget, everyone has a different budget. Bill Gates totally have a different budget than me. If he's a wargamer, he'd probably buy Games Workshop. That's his budget. My budget is completely different. So remember that. Other than the painting tutorials, showcases, I do product reviews too a little bit now because I've been buying a little bit more stuff. Ever since Adepticon, my budget has been, my allowance has gone up because my wife noticed that, he's actually doing something in this hobby. So everything is going well. Everything is snowballing really well. I got to meet a lot of people after Adepticon. And just look forward for more content. We're going to have more shows like this. I was actually, I have a show in my head. The plan, I'm going to start doing it. I owe people painting stuff like Dark Age stuff from Cool Mini or Not. I gotta paint that, and then I gotta start playing Dark Age. I bought some Infinity models because I wanted to paint it, so I would probably have a showcase. But I have a show in my head that I want to do. It's not going to be a live show. It's just going to be a series. I want to call it Quick and Dry. It's basically, instead of trying to paint the best as you can, I want to do a quick and dry, do it not live, but record it without fast forwarding and see how fast I can paint certain models. I would start with actually my big project, a Super Dungeon Explorer box. So every model or every squad, I'm going to do it really quick with an airbrush, see like tabletop style. So look forward for that show or that series. I don't know when I'm going to put it up, so don't ask me like when it's going to coming up because I don't know. I have so much stuff I have to do right now.
Ask him daily.
You mean the way he does us, Jen?
Exactly.
Hey, but now we're here because of that, right?
That's right. On that note, I have I was supposed to release a video this week for the painting on a dime, the very first budget video. But because of the weather we've had here in Oklahoma the last couple of weeks, I kind of got pushed off.
Well, the emperors be with you.
Yeah, but should be finished with that this week and have it posted, or this weekend, and have it posted hopefully Monday, no later than Monday, on a painting on a budget, painting on a dime.
Yeah.
For Eldar Fire Dragons.
Nice.
Also today, I don't think you mentioned this in the live. I might get like a deja vu, but you are going to buy a box of War Machine?
Yes, I'm going to pick up my son's birthday present today. He already knows about it. I've heard nothing but that for the last 2 days. We are going to pick up the 2-player War Machine starter box.
Cool. And what is the name of your local game store? Maybe they can get a couple of...
the local game store is New World Comics and Games.
Yay, ding. Cool. So this is... I hate to say this. This is the end of our first episode. What do you expect for the second episode? We actually have Oasis Rising. It's not going to be a weekly thing because it depends on the schedule of my guests. We're going to have it not every Saturday, but it's on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, or 6 p.m. GMT, UK time. So if you live somewhere else around there, figure it out. I'm sorry. But that is the end of our show. The second episode is going to be about actually assembling your model and getting it ready. And Michelle has a lot of takes on how to actually get your models ready and get ready to paint, because I'm pretty sure the technique that I've been teaching Miss, or not the technique, but the method that I've been teaching Miss is to make him want to paint, but he can't paint. So
yeah, I'm not
patience.
allowed.
Patience. So next step, we're gonna prepare models. We have the same box of Dark Dead. Mine is already built, but he's starting to build his, and let's see how this goes. And thank you for Max for being our first guest over here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for Clayton Tait for actually designing our logo. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for our audience. How many viewers do we have, Miss?
That'd be 16 total people.
We have 16 people viewing this.
Sweet.
That is a lot more than I expected. So thank you guys for actually showing up on your Saturday morning, evening, whichever. And this is the end of our first episode. This is Mars.
This is Mystics.
Max Payne.
Bye.